Good evening, toads, toadettes, cats, humans, and other creatures. Um, it's a very nice day outside. I know that some people don't consider a cloudy day a nice day, but considering the hot temperatures that we've had a few days, it definitely feels good to be in the low 80s, high 70s, and even lower. But with all that said, it's time! So, anyway, without wasting too much time, I just want to say hello to those who are, to the one person that just came in, but also to those watching the replay when you get a chance to watch it. But I want to say hello. And, hey, what's up? We also have the TJ, spelled differently, but TJ, and Atticus Black. And Atticus, tonight is your game, and as I promised you earlier, Mr. Atticus, if you'd like to, I could invite you to the booth if you wish. You don't have to, but I'm just offering it. Or if you want to bring Kelly along, I'm fine with that. Definitely cool with it. We also have Brandon, who of course is also in this game too, as he is part of the Houston Astros, as the Astros are down in the series in a best-of-3, 1-0. And a victory for Detroit will end the series, and they will go to the American League Championship Series. So that is what's at stake in tonight's game. Give me like 3 minutes. I'm finishing an episode of Stranger Things. Not a problem. You can definitely join midway into the game. I have no problem with that. No issue with it. Okay, so in addition to Atticus, and Brandon, we also have Miles Stanley Ward and James Gamer. The latter is the closing pitcher. And then, of course, we also have your boy, TJ, and Cole Weston. So with all that said, let me just get those guys. Let me get them. And this might be a good time to go get snacks and stuff like that. I had a nice dinner before coming onto the show. I don't know if you guys have this in your neighborhood, but I went to what was it called? The name escapes me right now. Buckhorns. I had a good time at Buckhorns. I don't know if you guys have that in your neck of the woods, but I had it, and it was really good. Of course, it's not exactly cheap, so it's one of those things you have to have every now and then. But for what it is, it's pretty good. Oh, of course, I forgot to share this. Anyway, while I set everything up, you guys can ask me questions or talk with me. I will definitely talk back to you. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And then Brandon says Reaper. I guess he really wasn't kidding when he was watching, when he said he was watching Stranger Things. I mean, I always get that confused with what is it? Isn't Life Strange? And then, well, yeah, I mean, there's a song called "Isn't Life Strange," and then there's "Strange Days." "Isn't Life Strange" was a song by the Moody Blues. I would know because I have the album. And then "Strange Days," as well as "People Are Strange." Both those songs were on the same album, on the Doors' second album called "Strange Days." Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked about like how much I like music very much. Because really, I mean, we hardly ever, cross that bridge, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, so the only other person I need to get is Miles Stanley Ward. Okay, there we go. And with all that, we are done. Now we can just get the game started. Let's do it. Okay, let's get to this one. All right, let's get it. So, if the Tigers win, they move on to the championship game. But if Houston wins, then we will force a game 3. So that's what's at stake in this game. In the lineup, you have your boy Toad, Brandon, and Cole. And for the Tigers, you have Miles Stanley Ward, Chaos Reaper, and of course the pitcher, or the closing pitcher, is James Gamer. And we'll see him if it's a close game and the Tigers are ahead. That's when you'll see him.
MLB
Live at Comerica Park.
Postseason baseball. It's game 2 of the ALDS between the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers.
I will say that Comerica is a very nice looking park. Not enough people give it enough credit given the fact that the Tigers, for the most part, have been, a losing team.
I'm joined by Mark DeRosa and Dan Plezak. And Danny, an important ball game coming up here in game 2.
Well, winning that first game of the 3-game series is so important. It puts the opposition up against the ropes right away, and it allows you to be aggressive going for the win in game 2.
And that's what we have so far.
Season is officially in full
Lance
swing.
McCullers, Spencer Turnbull.
Coming up next.
Can't talk. Spencer Turnbull, the starter for the Tigers. And there you see Miles Stanley Ward coming out, getting ready to let's get this done with one win. One win is all we need. Absolutely. Anyway, there you see Chaos Reaper with the chin beard. But then you see Weston, Cole Weston, a.k.a. Elock Oxford, the big, tall, strong man. And he could prove to be the difference if it should come down to a scoring affair.
What do you have for us on him, Danny?
Hey, you don't see a lot of guys that have 5 pitches, right? Sometimes it's hard to master even 2 or 3. But if you can master 5 like he has, you'll be in pretty good shape.
All right, Spencer Turnbull. And to start off with, we have Jose Altuve.
Under the lights. Wheels and deals. Here's the first pitch. Now a slider, and he gets ahead of him here, 0-1.
All right. I had to get something, but I'm back. So, first pitch, strike. We'll see if that's an omen.
There's the pitch. That's taken. Now it's 0-2.
No, not a problem, Joshua. Your game is not on tonight.
The outside corner for strikes. I think he stays out
So
there.
no worries, Joshua. You're cool. You're cool. So yeah, your game is not tonight. You're cool. All right. So 0-2 is the count. Swings at it.
Protecting on 0-2,
Count stays the
so
same.
we'll do it again.
And got caught looking. First strikeout for Spencer Turnbull.
So now to the plate, Michael Brantley for his career in this matchup. He's 1 for 2. Ready to
So yeah, originally I intended to do this on Monday, but I also knew that, you know, that Kelly's show, BMWF, was on for that night, and given that Mr. Atticus Black's an integral part of that show, I couldn't do it, so I had to wait until today or tonight in order to do it. So that's how it came to be.
Fastball well outside.
Hey, textbook waste pitch right there. Does he go elevated fastball again?
Now this is our first game 2 of this entire divisional round here. Hey, Cole! What's up, man? And, well, first and foremost, how you doing, man?
Again, he sends it out of play. Top of the first, just underway here in Motown.
But yeah, it's great to see you after a long time. And right now, Brantley is fouling off a lot of pitches, and that's going to drive up the pitch count, so Turnbull's going to have to put him away, which he does. 2 down. You have me on PS, TJ? Lots of work. Oh, yeah, I agree. You know, that lots of work has limited me to the weekends and maybe the occasional late night stream, which is what we're doing right now. Let me see. Do I? If I don't have you, you can add me at Taju22. So at least my my PSN handle is easy to find. So I want to say I do, but I can't say for sure. But no worries, I'll add you, my friend. Chaos.
2 out, nobody on. Hit hard on the ground.
Hits it, but he gets it right to the second baseman, and he done.
In time, and that ends the inning.
Send me a party invite if you do. I will do it. I will do it.
No score.
All right, so at the end of 1/2 inning, it is 0-0.
Lance McCullers is on the mound for game 2.
All right, so Lance McCullers. Now, of course, I'm not as familiar with him as, say, Justin Verlander, but from what I do know, he is a solid number 2 starter, and could possibly be an ace in, you know, a couple of other on other teams, really. Okay. All right, let me accept this really quick. Hold on a moment. Add to friends. Okay. I wanted. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna set the party. So, this should only take a couple of moments. So, be right there. And, okay. All right, so I got the party set up. Now we just have to wait for Mr. Mr. Black to come on in. And here he is. I'm well. We'll have to see what everyone says, but for those in the chat, can you hear Mr. Reaper? I can hear him, but I just want you guys to respond as to whether you can hear him. Can't even talk. Whether you can hear him.
Doesn't look like he's totally settled into the game yet. Hopefully he can find it soon.
But man, how do you feel about this game, given that you're one away?
Honestly, I'm not going to count any eggs before they hatch. The Astros are a good team that's been established several times. But I feel we can get it done.
I mean, of course, it's not just you. I mean, you also have Miles Stanley Ward, and if his wrestling character is anything to go by, he can do some damage, I would think.
Yep.
But then you also have to have that, closer, which is, something that the Tigers have lacked, and that's why they got James Gamer as their closer.
Yeah, because I remember last season we struggled to even finish out games. So adding James Gamer was probably the best decision we could make. Seems to be paying off so far, but like I said, I don't want to guarantee any victory because
no,
the Astros are tough. So
I mean they did come off of 3 appearances in a 5-year span, going every other year, and they won in their first year together. That solid group. That includes the likes of Altuve and some of the other guys, and they throw out Badu.
Damn.
I mean, well, let's not forget, Brandon Cuevas is behind the plate, so he's got himself an arm. He's the catcher.
Yep, I can see that.
So, yeah, you either have to be really fast, or he has to be off his game in order to not get him. Another strikeout, but this time for McCullers, and there you see the bracket for the folks at home.
Seems like we're gonna have ourselves a defensive battle here.
Yeah, because unless one of you guys is gonna, well, you know what? Speaking of which, you're up next at the bat. And of course, for the folks at home, I mean, Chaos Reaper, Atticus Black, whatever you want to call him, I mean, he had 1 home run, but that home run was what put him over the top in extra innings. I mean, 12 innings, man.
Uh-huh. Hoping it doesn't go that long again. 'Cause, I mean, the more energy you use, the less chance you're going to have to win the series after, because if you expend too much energy, you're not going to be able to perform properly.
Oh, pretty true. All right, so now we have a full count, and on deck is, of course, the man known as MSW on deck. So the fact that you have him to bat behind you, I mean, that says more about, they're trying to protect you. The management is. Anyway, a chopper. Let's see if he can run it. No, he cannot. That's the end of the first, and after 1, it is still 0-0. Ooh, look at those statues, though. I will say that the detail, or the attention to detail when it comes to like the statues in some ballparks, that looks pretty cool. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, considering I've been to Comerica at least 7 times in my life, I have to agree.
7 times?
I'm a Detroit Tigers fan, so...
Oh. Well, I thought it was because you were 100 years old. No, not really. Not really. In character, that is. But, no, not really. I am just facetiously joking about that last part. And, hey, what's up, Jamar? But
What's going on, Jamar?
but being that you have been there, I mean, like, what really is the standout attraction other than just the game? I mean, because sure, everybody goes to watch the game, but any amenities that people should know about that they should check out during the game?
Not really. I mean, it's more of a quiet stadium. It's not like a bunch of other stadiums where they have like a pool or whatever down in Florida. Because I know, I think it's either the Marlins Stadium or the Tampa Bay Stadium down in Florida has a built-in pool in it.
Oh,
But
that's
now,
well, actually, I think in Tampa, it's actually a tank for the actual Rays.
Yeah, because I mean, like, there's no like, I mean, I guess there's the whole bunch of tiger statues that are littered throughout the stadium and stuff, but like, there's not really any big attractions. So.
All right. And then Jamar's asking, do I play today, DJ? Well, unless one of these two teams gets like a 10-run lead, I highly doubt it. But hey, you never know. And you know what? Speaking of which, I got to go up to bat right now. My character, of course, has yet to even get a game, and in fact, I was 0-4 in the previous game. So unfortunately, my lack of success was, unfortunately, one of the reasons why Houston lost that game, was because I couldn't get the job done, unfortunately. And, of course, on that last pitch, I just went golfing. But nonetheless, though, I will say that the next game that we will do, whether it's next stream or if somehow we have time to do for this stream, it'll be your game, Jamar. Which will also be... he was drafted by the Brewers.
Oh, so Kelly might have a game today then.
Yeah, but again, that's only if,
Asking about that.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to do the game on Monday, especially because you play an integral part of Blood Moon Wrestling Federation.
Yep.
Because I say, if anybody else was in it, I probably would have done it, but I mean, really, the only way that you and your woman on opposite teams would meet would be in the World Series.
Which is what I'm kind of hoping for, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I mean, and of course your boo has a chance. Well, she and her team have a chance to close that series out. And nice hit there. Hits it over the second baseman, or not the second baseman, the shortstop, does Gurriel. I mean, just great hit. I mean, don't get me wrong. He tried to get up there, but he just did. He doesn't quite have the hops like Mario does to do it. And unfortunately, Brandon Cuevas is at bat with 2 runners on base. He hits it, and oh, what a catch by the Chaos Reaper, Atticus Black! What coverage that! He had to really, go lickety split to catch that ball, and he did. Wow. I'll get back to that in a moment, Jamar, but man, what did you think of your own effort to get that ball?
I think it's a fair trade-off.
Oh, I forgot.
Considering he threw the other guy out last inning.
And, wow, nice first hit there by Miles Stanley Ward. A single to start it off with. All right, so Jamar says, have you heard about the DLC coming out July? People are mad in WWE 2K22. I mean, I can understand some people upset that instead of of course Nash Carter was taken out, fair enough. But it's like, why just give us 2 cards? Or, give us an arena, give us a different guy, or maybe even, Or hell, maybe even some digital currency if you want. But actually, I don't even know if that's very useful. But give us something. But don't give us something that, you know, few people use.
I mean, look, I get why Nash Carter was taken out,
Yeah.
but, like, I'm not mad about the DLC. I'm more mad about the fact that they keep on adding DLC and they still can't fix the current problems that are still going on.
Oh, I see.
Because, like, I mean, right now, I don't know if it's a glitch or if they did it on purpose, you can't turn off rope breaks in matches.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway,
Yep.
well, while we were talking, Miles Stanley Ward did steal a base, and he made it to second base. But unfortunately, the next guy after him was unable to advance him any further. On the field, at left, is your boy TJ. Behind the plate is Cole Weston, a.k.a. Elock Oxford. And also, Cole, I may as well ask you, I forgot to ask you this. I didn't want to ask you off the jump. But if you're watching this, do you have 2K22? Because you were on the roster in 2K19 at that time, and you know I didn't expect that you would have the game like at launch or close to launch. But if you do have it, I would be more than happy to re-sign you, my dude. Oh, and a throw out as of course Brandon Cuevas once again guns down. This time it was Miles Stanley Ward at third and a strikeout following that. Man, what a defensive sequence there by Houston. You do have it. Anyway, sorry about that, Mr. Atticus there. And okay, so you do have it. Well, all right. So if you want to, I'll definitely put you up or put you on the wait list. There are only a few spots left. I have about, I want to say 6 or 7 spots left before I get a full roster. So the sooner I can get you, the better, really. Yeah, absolutely, Zachary. Good put. And oh my goodness, speaking of Cole West, look at the size of that man. Look how huge he is. Look at him. Ooh, good solid contact, but he fouled it off. I mean, and he hits it. Well, he only gets a single out of that one. But last time he hit a 2-run home run that put his team up ahead 2-1 early in the game. Yeah, it could very well be a defensive game, and that's, you know, we've had those.
I'm more of a fan of offensive games. I like seeing home runs and action.
Oh, dude, definitely the 1993 World Series had a lot of runs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because I believe I was actually 5 years old when that happened. And Elock, or sorry, Cole Weston, he actually tried to steal a base, and while he's faster than maybe most guys his size, he's not the fastest, and unfortunately for him, he got thrown out, which is actually good for Atticus and the guys. And then Cole says, not the fastest guy out there, but I can hit it far. Yes, you could. In fact, you did hit a big one. And then Cole with the sad face. Although this one could go, and it drops! It drops fair! And this could be, wait a minute, is he going to go for 3? He does! A triple! A triple! For Jose Altuve. Well, now Brantley has a golden opportunity to drive in a run. I'm sorry, Mr. Atticus, for talking over you, but I had to call it.
Well, that was unfortunate.
Well, I mean, if the
Ain't a big deal, though. Still 0-0. Just gotta finish it off before you can get to home.
41 pitches for Turnbull at this point. Oh, yeah, he froze him up right there. All right, so now 2-2 is the count. The important thing is, can he strike him out, or at the very least keep the runner at third? Well, he fouls it off.
No score here, but a potential run is 90 feet away with one gone.
I'm also trying to observe this game and see where our weaknesses still lie, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, we're in the playoffs this year, but it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, especially in a couple of games' time. Like, we don't know if the Tigers get better or if they somehow get worse, which, I mean, there's always that possibility. But I'd like to think that with Badu, he's going to be a rising star. Akil Badu. But now we have Alex Bregman, and let's see. Have the Milwaukee Brewers ever won a championship?
I think so.
Actually, the Milwaukee Braves have. Like when the Braves were in Milwaukee, yeah, they won the championship in 1957. And a line drive, and that's going to score the first run, and Houston draws first blood. It's still early, but,
No, the Brewers have not won a World Series, and the only time they've ever been was in 1982.
Yeah, they went to the 1982 World Series. They were an American League team at that time, and they went up against the Cardinals. And, of course, the Cardinals were one of the premier teams in the 80s. Especially with Whitey Herzog. Oh, and Brandon asks, "Hey Reaper, have you heard about what happened to Matt Harvey? Not Matt Hardy, Matt Harvey."
No. Who's Matt Harvey?
So Matt Harvey, based on what Brandon had said, he is. By he I mean Harvey, is indirectly responsible for the death of Tyler Skaggs. Again, there's still the jury's still out on whether he actually is guilty or not, but the fact that he's accused of it, and if what is said is true, it's not a good look. Oh, yeah, and also hello to Brian Hernsberger. I almost forgot to say hello. Very sorry, my dude. All right, so 2 outs. Strikeout. So sides retired, but the damage was done thanks to Alex Bregman. I mean, just a nice, solid-to-hit single. And before that, a triple by Altuve to get him to third. Those were the 2 hits that got it done.
Looks like we have to play come from behind again.
I mean, it's not a game you want to play, but but that's something you just have to expect. I mean, it is the playoffs after all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you either get ahead and stay ahead, or if you fall behind, you got to get back in. I mean, it's win or go home. So I'm actually not sure how you pronounce his name. Hase or Haas?
What's up, Ninja?
Hey, Mr. Ninja, what's up? Well, anyway, last time that we were on the show, we were in Atlanta, it was St. Louis at Atlanta. And of course, Atlanta won. I mean, they pretty much broke away towards the end of the game. So, well, now it's up to your brother to up to your brother's team rather to try to dig out of it. I don't like their chances, but we have seen it in the past. People or teams that have come from behind against the Atlanta Braves in the playoffs.
Yeah, struck out.
But I think he'd like to have that 3-2 pitch back. Pretty sure that was ball 4 he went after.
So now to the plate, Nico Goodrum.
Got to get something going here.
I mean, sure. I mean, yes, you have Chaos and MSW, but of course, I have to think that some of the guys that are not the big names, they got to step up too, and they have to find a way to contribute.
Yeah, because I mean, me, Miles, and James can't do everything on our own.
All right, well, a pop-up and 2 down. And of course, Willie Castro, although he has yet to get a hit, he does have a sacrifice RBI, so, he does get the job done, though. Well, we'll have to see what happens, Shamar, when it comes to hitting the ball, because you have done well in the field. I mean, of course, PPF would say the same thing about his own performance, that, yeah, he was great in the field, but the bat might not have got the job done. And another fly out, and that's the end of the third. Oh, and Brian says tomorrow is graduation. Are you going to graduate? What are you graduating, man?
Start of the 4th upcoming, but first, Heidi Watney is standing by with a report.
Thanks, Matt. During the commercial break, I discussed the Astros offense with Houston's manager. And overall, he's really happy with the at-bats they're putting together. Looking at the numbers, they currently have 4 hits coming from at-bats where they were behind.
I know high school's getting out over here, but the colleges don't get out till a couple weeks from now. So.
Okay, thank you, Heidi.
I'd imagine he's graduating high school.
Over to the batter's box is Carlos Correa.
Well, I remember when I did graduate from college, some people, well, what they did was they, it depended on the department or the major that you are graduating from. I mean, sometimes they would have, I was a business major, so the business graduates, we got the late draw, is how it worked, so... So it wasn't, based on anything other than just a blind draw going into it?
Yeah, that's how it was for my college when I went to Pittsburgh. So.
Pittsburgh? Oh, Pitt?
Yeah. Went there for 4 years for computer tech and graphics design.
A little insight of the man behind the character. All right, so 3-2 is the count on Carlos Correa. That's another key part of Houston's World Series. Whoa! Oh my goodness! I don't know if you saw that, but he fouled the ball, and the ball hit the mask of the umpire.
What's up, Clinton?
Great attention to detail there, and also great to see. The Mr. Dillygaff and a ball. Oh, sorry.
I mean, that's the thing about Houston as compared to Detroit. Like you said, sure, we have me, James, and Miles, but Houston has like a stacked roster all around with Carrera, Altuve, all those other players and stuff. Not to mention, you add the addition of Brandon Cuevas and stuff like that. Plus whoever else they have.
Yeah, and of course they have me.
Yeah, so I mean, like, y'all clearly have the bigger, better roster. So It's an underdog story, if anything.
Which would make it all the more incredible should Detroit win. It's still early, so you know, as long as they keep it within one run, they'll have a chance. But of course, Turnbull is up to 65 pitches. That's definitely got to be concerned for Detroit. But yeah, great to see you, Mr. Clinton. Of course, Clinton had himself a nice, solid start in his game 1 in the division series against Baltimore. Oh, but then I ground to first. They get the double play, and just like that, bases are cleared, and it is 2 outs. Great play there by the first and second or shortstop. Let me see. Oh, it was the shortstop that got him. All right.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a triple play happen in these games. At least not by the AI. I mean, like, I've seen other people pull them off when they're playing, but, like, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, and another ground out, this time to the first baseman. He'll touch the bag, and just like that, just like in 2 pitches time, they already got 3 outs right there. Great recovery there, and nice dancing there.
And see, that's what I'd rather prefer rather than throwing a bunch of pitches or trying to strike people out. I mean, like, sure, you take the risk by letting the guy get on, but if you're confident enough in your first baseman, catcher, and second baseman to be able to pull off the double play, sometimes that's the better route than letting him throw a bunch of pitches when you shouldn't. Because like you said, he's thrown like 65, 66 plus pitches now, and that's a cause for concern, because you need to be able to conserve your arm.
Absolutely. Whereas McCullers is only at 39 pitches at this point. So I would think that if Detroit's going to have any chance, they got to drive that pitch count up, at least just to even the sides. And then Clinton says he wants Houston to win just so that, you know, just to set up that Houston, New York championship series should that happen. Of course, I would think you would beg to differ, right? Of course you would.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's okay, Clinton. We've all been wrong before in our lives.
And I do have a bit of, well, I don't want to say it's bad news, but it's news nonetheless. Good news, bad news. Bad news is, of course, for some of you know that AEW's Double or Nothing is this Sunday night. But I will say that the good news is that I do have something planned for Memorial Day, and that's going to be Clash of Champions Night 2. And, of course, it will feature my guest, Atticus. And, in fact, if you want to talk or do a promo on that particular match that night, feel free to do so.
Nah, I don't really have anything to say. I've already said my piece. I've beaten Jose on several occasions, proven that I can beat the people he can't, being Kenny Omega, because he was struggling with him for a while. So at this point, it's just put up or shut up between the two of us.
And of course, I gave you this match, or or Booker TJ did it. I want to see this match, and I want to, you know, find out who really is the best. I mean, yes, it does involve the Universal title, but that's just the cherry on top, really. It just happened to work that way.
But back to the game, Houston's pitcher is on fire right now. 2 consecutive strikeouts, from what I saw. I don't know. I think I figured out what the weakness is. It's the pitching for us.
Yeah, because surprisingly, Verlander was like Verlander didn't have that good of a game in his start. So you would have thought that Verlander would have had it down, but no, it's McCullers that's doing a great job.
Oh, trust me, Verlander used to play for Detroit. I am really familiar with his strengths and weaknesses.
I have to think that some of those guys kind of knew what they were getting themselves into. And a big hit, but is it far enough? No, I catch the ball, and that's going to be the end of the inning. Still 1-0 at the end of 4.
5 hits to 1, though. No errors, so that's good for both teams. But Houston is just dominating this game so far. It might not look like it on the scoreboard, considering it's only 1-0, but
I mean, I would have to think that if Houston does not get this win, it's going to be because they didn't get the job done when they had the chance, really. That's what it's going to come down to, if it should happen. And of course, Brandon. Well, now we have 70 pitches for Turnbull.
yeah, he's gonna have to get pulled here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's not. You have to hope that whoever comes in for Turnbull stabilizes things. Anyway, a ground out to first, and they get him out. Tags the base. 1 down. Oh my goodness! Now you have basically your Haas, so to speak. Look again. What are your thoughts on that big man right there? That would be Eluk's owner, Cole West.
Big, but like he said earlier, not fast.
Yeah, but if he gets a big boom, he can drive it out of here. We've seen it. We've seen him get an opposite field home run at Houston, and of course we all know that Houston has. Oh, what? He chops it. Can they get him out? They got him. Bang bang play. 2 down. But now you have this man you got to deal with, Altuve, who is 1 for 2 with a triple. Sorry.
Now this is one of the ones that scare me on this team.
Yeah, because he hits for average, he gets on base, and he can cause problems on the base paths. At least when it comes to scoring runs. That is, he's the guy that touches home plate. Not the guy that drives in runs. I mean, that's just as dangerous, really, if you think about it.
If not more dangerous, honestly. A good base runner and RBI hitter is arguably more beneficial to the team than someone who can just hit home runs on average occasions.
All right, so 2-2 is the count. And now it's 3-2. I mean, we'll give credit to Turnbull. He's not giving up. You can never question the man's toughness. And he ends up walking Altuve. A bit too high on that last pitch. Anyway, gets Brantley looking on that 1 strike. But now you have a runner at first. Oh, wait a minute. Is he going to try to steal? Oh, they got him! They gunned him down! Good play there by Haas. With two A's in his name. That was a good throw out. I mean, that's huge because that gives Turnbull another inning to play with.
His thoughts on Detroit's offense, and flat out he told me they just
Now, if we can only just capitalize and get some hits in.
that they're just not finding a lot of hard contact today. There's been a lot of
Yeah, that was a nice throw, Cole.
and while most of the credit for that goes to the opposing pitching, he said it's important for them to continue to make adjustments at the plate. It's games like these where they have to
And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was impressive, but it's going to mean nothing if Detroit can't capitalize on the opportunities that have been given to them.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's Miles Stanley Ward, who is 1 for 1 so far. Let's see if he can repeat and get on base. Well, of course, Miles is not going to swing at anything that's a bit too low, you know, to his credit. Ooh, wow, that last pitch got him really low in the strike zone. Now he's got to protect. And he hits it. But, he grounded it to the first baseman, and he had to throw to the pitcher to cover the bag, and they got him at first. 1 down.
But yeah, I'm not even going to talk about my team in real life. Because goddamn, they're awful.
And Candelario hits it, and it goes right to the second baseman, and they get him out at first. 2 down. I mean, of course, let's not forget that Detroit has had periods of success, but they've also had periods of futility at times.
16 and 28 currently. I mean, that's an improvement because 3 days ago we were 13 and 28. So, woo, 3-game win streak.
Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere, really, and and you have to take it 1 game at a time. And who knows? Before you know it, you could be back in the race. Now, whether you actually win it or not, that's another story. But of course, I have to think that out of all the teams that the Tigers have ever produced, I still believe that the '84 Tigers are the best team that Detroit has ever put together.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I afford to see them win a series before I pass on.
And
hoping I don't get one of those Cubs or Red Sox situations.
You think you'll have a gray beard by then?
Probably be in a nursing home or something.
And while we were talking, I believe it was Grossman, or I forgot who was the last batter. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear who it was.
Well, he was able to get a walk, or wait. Oh, it was Grossman. I'm sorry, Grossman. Oh, what? Oh, he got thrown out. Oh my goodness. I mean, if that doesn't tell you the kind of night that they're having, I don't know what does.
Game 3's in Houston, right?
Yes. I mean, a golden opportunity to win this at home, and unfortunately, Tigers are just shooting themselves in the foot. Well, anyway, coming in is Derek Holland, and we'll have to find out if he's up to the task and if he can stabilize for Detroit. Ooh, got him very low on the strike zone. In this game, points are called runs. Why they call it that, I don't know, but that's what they call points in this game.
I mean, I guess because you have to run in order to get them.
Pretty much. And it's kind of funny because, well, anyway, grounds it to third, and they get him out at first. One down. I'll tell you what, if relief can, keep this a one-run game, they could still have a chance. But they got to capitalize, and that goes out in play. Hey, what's up, Blade Charge?
And I mean, I'm not exactly too worried at this point, because I mean, last game we were down, came back in extra innings. It's not a situation I'd like to be in again, but I know we can get it done.
So. Oh, absolutely. And, well, we have both your boo and my boos. Like, you have Crushing Kelly, who just came in, and of course, Speranza.
Hey, Kelly.
So, yeah, Kelly, your man is with me in the booth.
Speaking of Speranza, I don't know if you made her or Blade Charge made her, but I tried downloading her when I got Blade Charge from my company, and she keeps on having glitches with the character.
Okay.
Like, it won't show her design when I go to select her and stuff.
Well, one thing I did was I went back to, like, you go to edit the character, you have to give the character the pose, and then save it. I find that actually helped. I don't know if you did it yet.
I'll try and do that later then, because, yeah, I've been avoiding putting her on matches or booking her, because, like, I didn't know if there was something wrong with the character, and...
Well, it is a glitch, but it's not a game-breaking glitch, I will say. And plus that, and like I said, I actually tried that and it worked. So.
Yeah.
And wow, a strikeout onto Alvarez. All right, so the bullpen did its part. Now let's see if Detroit can do its part on bat or at bat. Oh, Eric. Oh, Haas. Okay, so that's how you pronounce his name. I had to hear it from the announce team in the game.
Yeah, I think if I'm the hitting coach right here, Matty, I'm telling the offense to get aggressive. Just seems like we've been going too deep in counts, and this guy has got exploding stuff on the mound.
And of course, McCullers is still in the game with 66 pitches.
First pitch on its way.
You just have to hope, if you're Detroit, that he starts to fall apart as the game goes on. Not that you should count on it, but if Detroit's going to have any chance, that's what they have to hope for. Anyway, 2-0 is the count. So now Haas has a hitter's count in his favor. Let's see what happens here. Well, he swings and fouls it off, 2-1. Anyway, oh, and Crushing Kelly says, hiya, Atticus. Hiya, TJ. But yeah, and he swings and misses, but they'll have to throw him out to get him out. They do. One down.
So here is Nico Goodrum, flied out in his first at-bat, so making 0 for 1 so far.
I could use some good rum.
And he pops it up. And, ooh, nice catch there. 2 down. I mean, credit McCullers. I mean, he's not letting anything happen. Although, nice hit, but he hits it a bit too high and a bit too far. Another, I mean, that was another quick one. Which team is Atticus on? He's on the Tigers. And, of course, I'm on the Astros.
Yep. I'm losing right now.
Well, yes, it is, still 1-0, but it's not like, Detroit has had much chances, if anything.
A new pitcher already. Don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. I mean, unless they're trying to save him for Game 3, I don't get it. And then
Possibly?
and then Crushing Kelly said, "Sorry, TJ, but go Detroit."
What I love about this ball player, he's got such a great internal clock. It seems like it's bang bang at first every time, but the guy's out. He's got sure hands and an accurate throw.
And this is low, ball 2-1. Astros shortstop in front with a 3-1 count.
And of course, up next is yours truly, number 36.
You can't afford to be giving out free passes this late.
And then, of course, Clinton, doing the most Clinton thing to do, says, "Go Astros."
Payoff pitch home. And a good take.
And a walk to Carlos Correa.
The seventh, it's ball 4.
That leadoff walk is a great way to start this inning when you're looking.
Oh, yeah, of course you would think that.
Could be the beginning of good things here in this half inning.
But, I mean, I still, I think the most that they ever did was just simply have Houston forfeit their draft picks in the draft, which, fair enough, but I'm like, I would have really thought that they would have, handed a much more stiffer penalty than what they ended up getting. Of course, it doesn't help when you have a commissioner who's
I didn't think it was possible, Clinton, but you managed to make me dislike you more and more every day now. You're a Yankees fan and a Buckeyes fan.
Also,
Circle those teams.
Also, there is Shifty.
Hey, Shifty.
To Houston's left fielder. This situation right here reminds me of sitting on the bench talking to John Smoltz. Hall
But
of
no,
Famer.
if we're actually being honest, college football, my least favorite team is the Buckeyes. Pro baseball, my least favorite team is the Yankees.
And I swing and miss.
That's just too much velocity upstairs to get good wood on it. It's gonna have
But then again, I was around during the whole era where the Yankees were all but dominant. Back in the 90s.
Oh,
early
and I got
2000s.
caught looking. Got caught looking, so I'm out. Kelly
You
needs
remember that? You
yeah,
remember that, don't you, TJ?
Yeah, I do remember, especially, we're talking like the early 2000s. I remember,
Jeter, Rodriguez, that whole crew.
yes, and Mariano Rivera, and who else am I forgetting?
They like to calibrate the speed, maybe
Bernie Williams. I'm surprised I remember him.
everything your ball
Yeah.
before they pull the trigger.
But as well as Roger Clemens, when they had him.
Runners on first with 1 down.
And then Crushing Kelly sticks her tongue out at Clinton.
Ball called just a bit low.
All right, so 1 down and a man on first. Fouls it off.
2-2.
But yeah, great to see you, Shifty.
Backing pitch on its way.
Not a bad time right here to put that runner in motion. 3-2 count. You send the runner, and if it's a bad pitch, it's ball 4.
Oh yeah.
See, Clinton, while you were the one on their side, I was always the one going against them.
And
So.
he locked him up. And no one will get this one.
I grew up in a Braves family, even though I'm a Detroit fan.
Swing and a liner.
He hits this. Oh, it drops in. So now you have 2 runners on base, first and second.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not
I mean, good hit there by Gurriel.
able to get that ball through the left side for a base hit. Way to grind it out.
Number 63 takes the mound as he's been called upon to pitch. Number 63.
Oh, my sister and Paul went to Brookhaven High School in Columbus. Atticus is not against the Brewers, says Kelly.
Not currently.
Anyway, now Brandon with a golden opportunity to really bust this game open. He hits it. And nobody out. It's all bases loaded. I'm surprised they didn't even get one out. Well, now this is going to be a tough stretch because now you have Cole Weston, and this guy could clear the bases. I mean, he doesn't even need to get a hit. He just needs to get solid contact, keep it in play, and possibly score a run here. That's what I was wondering. Why didn't he throw to first?
I guess because he was closer to second and felt he could make the play.
Well, now Cole, the power's in his hands now because we'll find out if he can take advantage of this. Fouls it off. Just glad Atticus doesn't dislike the Brewers, I mean. Two and one is the count, and
You still there?
yep, I'm still here.
Oh, because I noticed the stream was lagging.
Oh, I hope it wasn't. And then Brandon's like, Kelly, fingers control it. Pops it up. Let's see. And it looks like they might tag up. And, well, they get another run. A pop sacrifice fly. So now it's 2-0 Houston.
Looking like we're having a game 3.
Yeah, very much could be, unless, I mean, really the only way that Houston loses this is if, you know, their pitching and if their pitching starts to go south, which I highly doubt, but stranger things have happened. Oh, sack fly, that's what it is. Sorry. I'm not that familiar with the. Well, I mean, I mean, I like to believe I am very familiar with baseball terms.
0-1 delivery. Behind 0-2 now. Nothing in 2 count and the pitch.
Ooh! Oh, almost hit him.
That's a great pitch to try and see if you could get him to fish outside the zone. He's still in the driver's seat right now, and I'd expect something else to miss off the plate.
2 men are on with 2 men out.
Swing and a miss, and they got him. But they get another run across, and it is 2-0 Houston.
Bottom half of the inning here in Detroit. Get up and stretch. It's the Astros 2 and the Tigers nothing. Bottom of the inning now, and at the plate will be the.
All right, so back up is Akil Baddoo, 0 for 1 with a walk, and really, time is starting to run out. I mean, they have the next 3 innings to, you know, put up the runs, and if they don't, we will be seeing a game 3.
Man, this guy's really pitched well so far, attacking the strike zone.
I mean, but give Lance McCullers a lot of credit because he's doing what Verlander should have been able to do, and that was go deep. I mean, I'm still trying to scratch my head as to how Verlander couldn't do what, you know, McCullers is doing right now. and that's go
Well,
deep.
that's probably because Detroit is really familiar with Verlander.
Probably,
I mean,
yeah.
keep in mind, he played the vast majority of his career for Detroit before eventually going over to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Was arguably their best pitcher as well. Because once he left and went to Houston was when the problems really started for Detroit in real life.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what happened, and I still remember. I still remember when they made it to the World Series, but hits it high, but a bit too high, 2 down already. Well, once again, it all comes down to Chaos Reaper. I mean, again, you could only have him bail you out so many times before, the magic just runs out. But I have to think that even McCullers knows full well he can ill afford to give up a home run here. I mean, that'll just make it a one-run game, of course, but with a game this close, I'd have to think that that's at the forefront of his mind, really. Well, anyway, Chaos Reaper, the character, lays off that ball. Fouls it off. Well, now it looks like Reaper's starting to do what probably should have been done early in the game, and that's drive up the pitch count. Yeah, he's doing that. I swear, it's like they expect you to do everything, man.
It's usually how it is.
Oh, got caught looking, and out goes the Chaos Reaper, but he drives up the pitch count, but now we get to the top of the 8th.
Brian Garcia has been summoned from the bullpen as he'll do so to start the 8th.
Well, if this game does go to Game 3, I guess I'll join you for that game.
Yeah. Well, the only saving grace is that you won't have to face McCullers again.
Yeah, but then we have the disadvantage of having to finish things out in Houston, which is something I would have rather avoided.
Now the first pitch.
And it's funny because Houston has only ever been able to clinch the World Series once, and that was in 17. Because I know that they had a Game 7 in 19 against the Washington Nationals, and the Nationals, of course, won that game. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Game 5 of the past World Series?
Or
6, so? I think. Because I know it didn't go to 7, I know that. But all I know is the series ended in Houston, and the Braves won that series. That's all I remember.
I was happy about that.
I mean, I was also happy for, Wally, because, his team hadn't won it in, what was it? A little, 27 years.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I said, I'm a Detroit fan, but I also grew up in a Braves family, so.
So you felt a little bit happy about that?
Yep.
This guy uses that two-seamer to set up his other pitches. Two-seamer in, breaking ball away.
But yeah, what I may as well mention that, starting in season 4, what I will do is, well, I'll have to hold that thought as he pops it up. Oh, he gave it a ride, but it got caught. 2 down. But what I'm going to do is alternate between... Now, of course, as we all know, being that this game took place where 10 teams made the postseason, right?
Yeah.
That 5-team per league format that they have used for. I think it was going back to 2014.
I believe so.
Because what I do remember in 2014 was it was 2014 because that was when the Royals in one of the first games in the American League was that they went up against Oakland in that wild card game, and in KC, I mean, they came from behind late in the game to win it, and then they would go on to go all the way to the World Series only to lose to San Francisco that year.
And that was back when they had Bonds, wasn't it?
No. By then, Bonds had retired in 07.
Oh.
That was when they had guys like that's when they had guys like Buster Posey and I'm trying to remember most of the guys, but Buster. Oh yeah, and Madison Bumgarner, among other guys that they had.
Got caught looking there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
no, that was arguably my favorite era of baseball. I want to say the 2003 to 2007 era where you had all those big hitters and stuff, Barry Bonds.
Oh yeah.
And all the like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I was done. So.
Oh, I was about to name some of them, and a big hit. And that's going to get him to second and third with 2 outs. Big hit there by Correa. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Love him or hate him, and I have to think that you hate him. But Correa is getting the job done. You pay him the big bucks to do this, and that's what he's doing. Oh, yeah, and Pablo Sandoval. I forgot about Kung Fu Panda, and it looks like, they're going to walk me. They're going to walk TJ. Yeah, so I got you were talking about Barry Bonds. I just got the Barry Bonds treatment there.
And they decided they'll take their chances with the next guy in the lineup.
And now a crucial spot. Bases loaded.
But I was about to say, like, Albert Pujols in his prime.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the controversy behind Barry Bonds and everything, the whole steroid stuff, but like, I still enjoyed watching them play. Him and McGuire, I both enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed watching both of them play.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was fun,
Yeah, it definitely was a lot of fun, and I think for me, the peak for me was when the Red Sox won the World Series that year in 04.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was, I think I was 16 years old at that time. So, and this was, just a few months before, Miles Stanley Ward got hit in the butt. No. This was a few months before YouTube became a thing. So, the fact is, I definitely remember it as if it was yesterday. And every time I watch replays of it, it just reminds me of where I was at that time. That's how magical it was.
Oh, yeah, him too, Brandon.
Frank Thomas, yeah. Unfortunately, I got to see him towards the tail end of his career. So, like, I had to go back and watch. There's a series called Baseball Seasons.
Yeah.
And the featured season that was showcased was the 1995 season, in which Chicago made it to the American League Championship Series. Because back in those days, that turned out to be the final year of when, or actually, no, wait, that was 1993. Sorry, my mistake. 1993, the big hurt Frank Thomas, he was at the top of his game. He was at the top of his game, dude. My dad remembers him more than I do. But my dad would tell me that, you know, when his team needed a big hit, he delivered.
Something to keep an eye on.
And just as we were talking, McCullers, well, first he hit Miles Stanley Ward, and then he walked the next guy, and now Robbie Grossman with a rare opportunity to get something off of McCullers.
You have to look at it like it's not how or how many. Pitching very well into this one into the late innings, and his first pitch strike.
Unfortunately for me, my only experiences with championships or World Series has ended in defeat, which was 2006 and 2012. The 2006 one I remember clear as day, considering I actually went to one of the games. Probably the biggest upset I've had in my sports career, outside of the Super Bowl with Carolina, of course, for Super Bowl 50.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you know, speaking of Carolina, how did you feel? I think I know how you feel, but I think it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth. But how did you feel when you and your boo got drafted by Carolina in the Madden draft?
Extremely happy.
I know it's going to be weird to see Kelly in Carolina blue. And a high fly ball, but not far enough. And man, a golden opportunity to even just get a dent in there, and they still cannot get it done. Mind you, and it's not like they're not trying either.
Michael Fulmer enters from the pen to start the ninth inning as he'll try to keep the score right where it is heading to the bottom of the ninth.
But let's see, I'm trying to think of other guys that were huge during that time.
Set to start the ninth in this one, and striding forward the designated hitter.
Oh no, you are.
He's talking about football, Kelly.
Yeah, I was talking about the Carolina Panthers in the Madden series, not the MLB series. So if I scared you, I didn't mean to do that. But no, we're talking about the Madden series in this case. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do in this series what I did with the Madden series, and showcase every single team from the bottom dwellers to the middle of the road to the top tier, and of course rotate that with every completed year, and so on and so forth. Yes, you are a Carolina Panther in Madden, and I only put you there because your boo is in there. Anyway, strikeout by Cuevas, or Cuevas struck out, I should say, excuse me, by Fulmer.
What position, Brandon?
What position? Oh, for Mr. Steve Smith Jr. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Oh, not a problem, crushing Kelly. I think you're gonna crush it with the Carolina blue. Pun intended. Anyway, fouls that off does Cole Weston. So far, he is 1 for 2 with a single. And he gets another single as he hits one down the line past the third baseman. It happened so quick that the third baseman couldn't get to it. Yeah, that was a seeing eyeball there.
Methinks you give Furcow too much credit sometimes, Clinton.
I mean, as far as, I have seen series where the road team won each time. Well, if that's the case, then, Detroit can have it won. But we all know that trends always get broken, and you can't really establish trends all that often. So it's like, why even try? Every series is its own thing, really. So I try not to make too much of a big deal when it comes to trends at that point. And wait a minute, and Weston tries to steal again, and you know, same idea, same result. He gets caught again. I mean, you have to credit the man for trying, but you know,
you're up 2-0. I mean, it's not something you want to take risk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you wouldn't even do it if you were behind 2-0.
This one's not going to stay fair. 2 out, nobody on.
And then Crushing Kelly's like, Clinton, if you had your way, Ladybug would dominate every sport. Well, I will say this. Crushing Kelly, since you are the... Crushing Kelly, since you're the captain of the Brewers, if you want to, I can do the game, your game, tonight, after this one. If you want to. Otherwise, I can save it. It's not a problem. I'm just trying to get most of these games out of the way. And but yeah, on Monday, Memorial Day, that's when we'll have Clash of Champions. I should also mention that for those who just came in. Anyway, and then Cole says, I'm really not a fan of fast enough to try to steal. Why does the AI think that I am? I don't know. But here's a guy that can steal a base, and that's Jose Altuve. You'll stick around for... Okay, cool. Well, in that case, I will. I'll let Jamar know, because he did say he wanted to play, but I wasn't sure. You know, that is unless, of course, they tie the game and they force extra innings, and we've had that before. Anyway, that's going to end the half inning. So now, situation's this: if Detroit can get 2 runs, they will tie it up, and we will go to extra innings. But if they don't get 2 runs, game's over. But if they get more than 2 runs, game's over also, and the Tigers will not only win the game, but they will win the series. Although I don't think that's going to be on anybody's mind at this point. At this point, they just need to get on base. They just need to start, you know, putting hits together. Well, now McCullers is out of the game, and now it's up to Ryan Presley to take over where McCullers left off there. I mean, we've seen it in the past where, like, ooh, good hit, but is it going to stay fair? Oh, just outside the foul pole. Oh, man, how close can you get? Good hit there. And, of course, he will not swing at that. That's 2 inside. Oh, my gosh. Swing and a miss there, but, oh, man. If he had actually made that, what would that say? And another swing and a miss, but oh my goodness, just a few inches to the left, and that would have been a 1-run game there. But nonetheless, though, McCullers did do a fantastic job with 1 hit, 3 walks. He gave up more walks than he did hits, and he had 7 strikeouts. Well, still, I mean, Goodrum was trying to hit it out, but it's like, I mean, you tried it once, but now you have to try to, you know, get hits strung out, man. Ooh, good solid contact, but fouls it off. Yeah, exactly, Cole. Well, if and I'm going to make the same offer for Kelly as I made for you, Mr. Atticus, and that is, if Kelly wants to join in the booth, she's more than welcome to do it. And a strikeout looking to Castro. And now Detroit is 1 out away from having to play a Game 3.
Well, I'm heading out after this game, so I need to find something to eat for dinner.
Oh, not a problem. Well, now it comes down to Akil Baddoo. Well, he's going to have to do the job. Or
Just
Detroit...
get on base.
Yeah, just get on base. Yeah, I mean, of course, easier said than done. And he swings out of the strike zone too high. I mean, you know, I have to give him credit. I mean, he wants to be the hero, but, you know, you just have to do enough. All right, so 0-2 is the count. Okay, that was too low, so he does not swing at that, to his credit. Oh, got caught looking on the bottom left corner of that strike zone, and Houston forces a Game 3. They needed that one, and now the series will shift back to Houston for a decisive Game 3. Much to the chagrin of Mr. Atticus Black, but I mean, we all know that Houston. We knew that Houston was going to try to win this game, and by God, they did it. Much to the happiness of Cole Weston, and well, to a degree myself and Brandon Cuevas. And I mean, why would I not want to win?
Yep, GG Cole. Good game, TJ. Guess I'll join you back for Game 3 then.
And we'll find out if this is the only, because I've had series where we only had one Game 3, and you know, but we'll see. We all see.
I will talk to you later then.
All right. Well,
yeah, have a good stream.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I mean, you can still hang out and watch it, but enjoy, my friend.
Yeah, I'll be in the chat.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. All right, later.
Take care, my friend. Okay. So, Houston ties the series up. And it will go back to Houston, and I don't like the Tigers' chances of winning. But who knows? Maybe the pressure of winning at home might get to Houston. I don't know. Had to watch the Brewers beat Cardinals in real life. And of course, naturally, the player of the game is Lance McCullers Jr. I mean, he did exactly what he needed to do, and he got the job done. About as simple as anybody can make it, really. All right, let's move on to our next game. I didn't think we were going to be able to do it, but hey, you know. But yet, here it is. All right, so for Crushing Kelly... Okay, there it is. Now I just need to get... now I just need to call on the likes of PPF and... Yep, so we just get PPF and some of the others, and we'll be right there. So this would be a good opportunity to go get snacks and stuff like that. So I did have a nice dinner early in the day, like especially after work. I don't know why. It always feels more rewarding to have a nice dinner. I don't get to do that I don't get to do it very often, so it is very nice. Let me see. Oh yeah, and then Patty and Jamar. Let me get those guys. And then, who else? Actually, I'll just get right into the game really quickly. There we go. Okay. Alright, just wanted to get into the game. Didn't want you guys to wait too long for me to get. So we have Clayton, Kershaw, and Woodruff. Ooh, that's going to be a good matchup there. So you have Chambly, Mr. PPF, and then of course you have Insane One as a relief pitcher. And then for the Brewers, you have Jamar Games, Patty Chase, and yes, our very own Crushing Kelly, the hometown girl. And this takes place in, well, I was going to call it Miller Park, but it's called American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And a big opportunity for the Brewers to win at home. I mean, of course, Kershaw is, you know, Kershaw doing Kershaw things, really. Oh, yeah, let me get Mr. Jamar.
It's so important. It puts the opposition up against the ropes right away, and it allows you to be aggressive going for the win in game 2.
It'll always be Miller Park to me. Is that because you like to drink, or is it just the fact that, you know, Miller Park was always the name for the longest time? You know, I remember my dad recalls watching the Brewers, especially in the '82 season, back when they were still playing in the Milwaukee County Stadium. I mean, some people look at that stadium as the house that, you know, Hank Aaron built. Just because of the name. Just because of the name. I hate beer. Ah, I didn't realize that. Well, you only got it half right, Brandon. And then, wait, who else was I forgetting? Oh yeah, Chambly and Insane One. And that'll do it. Oh, never mind what I said then. Oh, no worries, no worries. And of course, leading up is going to be Mookie Betts, and of course, Mookie played a huge part in the Dodgers winning the 2020 World Series. And in fact, that World Series, as well as the playoffs, were perhaps the most unique, you know, postseason that I have ever witnessed. In fact, it's a postseason that I will never forget. You know, because you had an extra series in the wild card series, and then you had two. Well, you had really the National League Championship game, and then the World Series itself, you know, contested on a neutral field. So that's something I will never forget, really. Yeah, and with the Red Sox too before that. So the hot hitter coming into this is Trey Turner. But of course, this man would love to get something off the board. Okay. But, yeah, he is a base-running threat, I will say that. Anyway, 2 down, and bases are cleared, and 2 outs already as Trey Turner comes in, and he's got himself a great batting average, but we'll see what happens as he goes up against Brandon Woodruff. No relation to, well, I'll just stop right there.
I'd be shocked if this wasn't a 4-pitch walk right here. He doesn't want to mess around and leave something over the heart of the plate and get beat in this situation.
And a good comeback there. It's 3-1.
Hey guys, that fastball just registered 97 miles an hour on a night like tonight where it's super cold out.
Sorry, guys. I was just trying to get something here.
You get jammed, it's almost like getting stung by a pack of wasps.
And we'll have the first base runner of the ball game here as that misses.
And unfortunately, Trey Turner now on the bases, and we'll see if we'll see what he can do. Anyway, there you see Patty Chase, number 23, at first.
So 2 down and a runner at first, and that'll bring up the big bat of Max Muncy.
Hey, great to see Mr. Plus Ultra Adrian. I noticed that you streamed. Unfortunately, I was at work at that time. And of course, I don't always stream every night. I only just found the time to do it. But anyway, great to see you, Mr. Plus Ultra.
Looked like a slider perhaps, but it missed badly, and it's 2-0.
He's having a really hard time finding his rhythm and finding the strike zone. It's going to allow this offense to keyhole him in big situations. He's got to figure it out pretty quick.
Now a move over to first, but the runner's back easily.
Great to see you too. Yep. By the way, guys, you can check out Mr. Plus Ultra Adrian on Twitch under that handle. And of course, he does a lot of chill streams. So if you're more of a chill stream watcher or viewer, then he is your guy to talk to, man. He often talks with his viewers. Be right back. Let me take this call. Hold on.
2-2. And it's fouled away.
Did you guys have fun?
A runner on first with 2 away.
All right. Okay.
Turner's on his horse on his way to second. And here's a pitch inside, and that got him.
Yeah, I can hear the
right,
crowd
take care.
murmuring now, wondering if he hit him on purpose. But hey, us pitchers need to be able to throw inside, especially when facing hitters as dangerous as he is.
And anyway, back to what I was about to say. Yeah, he's a chill streamer. And another thing I should mention is that Adrian, you're on the Dodgers. You were drafted by them. And just before you came in, you got struck out. But ever since you came in, the Dodgers now have 2 runners on base. And now you have Will Smith, who was a big hero in, I think it was Game 6 or Game 7 of the National League Championship Series in 2020. Because I know that his big hit turned that series around, and of course the Dodgers would go on to win, but not this time. As he swings and misses, and at the end of one half, it is 0-0. That's funny because I'm a Giants fan. Really, I did not know. If I'd have known, I'd have put you on some other team. But on the other hand, they were not available for the draft. But hey, I'll let you know which teams are going to be drafting. I try to feature each and every single team that I can, and it will start with the next season. But it's all good. All right, cool. Anyway, what's up, Brandon? Caught Muncy on his foot. Oh, I didn't see that. See, I was talking on the phone with my mom, who wanted to check in on me. So I didn't see that Muncy got hit in the foot. But now you have Clayton Kershaw. And, given that you're a Giants fan and everything, I have to think that you'd rather team up with this man rather than go up against him, if you could. The Warriors are going to the finals? Wait, did they have their game tonight? Because I know that the last time I remember, Dallas forced a Game 5, I remember. But I kind of forgot what happened after that. I wasn't watching, so I wouldn't know. It just ended. Yeah.
Into his motion. Here comes the 3-1. Hard hit ball to second. Herter
Hits it right to the second baseman. One down. And it might just come down to a defensive game like last game.
look at the hometown Brewers.
Anyway, here are the
Take on him against
starting lineup for the Brewers. And that includes Jamar Games, Kelly Baker, and Patty Chase. And not to mention all the other guys that, you know, make a stacked Milwaukee Brewers team.
He's not going to give him anything. I know in today's game everybody's trying to go deep, but I'm telling you, a good hit and run, taking that extra bag today might be the difference between winning and losing.
Well, I'm happy that, well... Ooh, good hit there. Good solid contact, but it's foul. Oh, Ram? Hey, what's up, Ram? Let me see. Ram. I don't have you. I do not have you on the team yet. But if something happens and someone falls out, I will put you in. If not, I'll have you ready for next season. But I do have you ready for. What is it? But I have you ready for Clash of Champions, which will be. Oh, not a problem, Ram. Not a problem. But I do have you on Clash of Champions for Monday night, Memorial Day. And of course, Adrian had his first match on night 1. Of course, Adrian was a last-minute replacement in that 10-man Rumble. And he did pretty well, despite the fact that he didn't win. But it just goes to show that, you know, Adrian, he's ready to reclaim that championship that he never got the chance to reclaim. Yeah, especially after a 3-4 year long absence. Anyway, but yeah, everybody's saying hello to Ram. And swing and a miss by Christian Yelich. And Kershaw just, you know, mowing him down. And at the end of 1, it is 0-0. And then Adrian's like, I want my belt back. So yeah, now of course I already had scheduled the matches for night 2, but for after that, that's another story. So yeah, Ram, Adrian, he was Blue Toad Wrestling Champion back when I can't even talk. Back when we were on WWE 2K18, he was champion at that time. So yeah, this was long before, you know, you became a regular fixture on the show, Ram. But yeah, Adrian's a former world champion, so it would be nice to schedule a match for that title. So I mean, and the fact that, you know, Adrian won, like what happened was he won a Royal Rumble to be added into the world title match, and he won the world title, and that's how he became champion. I mean, it was a triple threat ladder match, and he won, and he climbed that ladder, and he had a couple of matches going as champion. Anyway, 1 down as far as 1 out. Yep. So on the field, at right field, you have Jamar Games, shortstop Kelly Baker, crushing Kelly, and first base Patty Chase. Yes, there are women in this game.
into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. Off-speed pitch in the dirt as he takes it for a ball.
Well, that's a pitch right there. You gotta just lay off. There's a good chance he's gonna throw it on 0-2.
And he hits it right to Kelly, and Kelly gets it right to her good friend, Patty Chase. That's 2 down. Nice play there by crushing Kelly. But now we have Mr. PPF, Maxim. But Mr. PPF has had himself a great game in terms of on the field, but at bat, he would love to turn that around. So that's the story with him going into this game, is that he is on a cold streak and would love to break out of it. Hits it. Ooh, almost caught that one, but it goes foul. But yeah, guys, you can go check out Plus Ultra Adrian on Twitch, and of course, on occasion he'll upload videos on YouTube. So you can also check out the back catalog of streams that he's done in the past. And not to mention, I did have him as a guest. In fact, he's the last guest that I had on to June 22 Talks, which is an interview series that I do. In fact, I've done that series for the best part of 8 years now, or 7, since my last interview. But enough about me. Now we have Clayton Kershaw at the plate. Can't talk. I'd have to get some water after this. Swing and a miss. There will be another video up on Saturday. Great. So yeah, if you guys want to check out what Adrian does, you can always subscribe to him. But I just wanted to give a plug to a longtime good friend of mine. I think I've been friends with Adrian since 15, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, swing and a miss by Kershaw, and that's going to end the first half of the second. And it's still 0-0. No hits allowed. I mean, walks, yes, but no hits. And next up is our good friend Jamar Games. And much like Mr. PPF, he would love to get out of the cold streak that he has, but to do it against Kershaw, you might be asking too much from him. Or maybe not. He actually got one in terms of contact.
Nothing in 2 count and the pitch.
Well, not a problem. I just, because you do a lot of nice stuff for, others. I figured the least I can do is do something nice for you. And, it always astounds me how people, it always astounds me that, it takes a lot for people to be kind. It really shouldn't be. It's just common sense, but it's also, what we should strive to do is to be kind to each other. And, I don't want to get into a soapbox about it, but, I remember I got very far. I got far in life by the kind deeds of other people. And it just goes to show that, I can also get far by being kind to others, I mean, really, who said that really, it just kind of proves the whole adage of nice guys finish last. Not true. Yeah, unless you're Clinton and you just want to be a smartass. Lol. But really, it's just something that, I live by, and, my parents taught me that. Anyway, nice hit, but gathered up by who else? Adrian, as he gets that ball and he gets it to first. So great play there by the shortstop, Mr. Adrian. Yes, especially like it was true back in the 60s and it's still true now. I'm serious when I say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. I had to say it. Also, welcome back to the show, Mr. Atticus. You're just in time to see your girl, Kelly, at bat. We'll see if she can get out of this 1-2 hole that she has. And she pops it up a bit too high, and that's the end of the inning. Anyway, there you see Chambly, Adrian, number 6. But it's still 0-0 at the end of 2. I mean, not for the lack of trying there, Mr. Chaos. Yep. Dodgers aren't a team to sneeze at either. No, they're not. I mean, they are, you know, this group, for the most part, this core group that they have in this game is the core group that won the championship. I mean, of course, there were some guys that, unfortunately, for them, that they lost in free agency. But they more or less still have the pieces from that championship team. And up on deck is our boy, Adrian Chambly. We'll see if Betts can get on base, which he will, at the end of ball 4. And Woodruff is at 49 pitches, and you know, not the pitch count that you want at this point in the game for Woodruff. And there you are, my friend. I wasn't sure whether to give you full facial hair or just to give you the 90s stash. You know, that some of the players that in the 1990s had. So I wasn't sure if you wanted the stash or if you wanted to, you know, have a full-blown beard, or if you wanted me to give you slightly longer hair. I wasn't sure about that. So I based your character's look off of when you had that makeover. You know, because I remember you mentioned that you went on a date at that time. Especially a player with a big ego. Yeah, it's okay. Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be tough though. Every time I hear the name Rocky, I always imagine, or the name Adrian, I imagine Rocky. Who said that? Oh shit. Let me. I forgot to get my pop out chat. How stupid of me. Fouls it away. Does Chambly? Oh, that was Chaos who said that. All right, cool. Well, right now, Chambly is driving up the pitch count up against Brandon Woodruff, which bodes well for his team, but anyway, that one kind of just got away from Woodruff. Oh, almost got caught was Betts. I'll tell you one thing, Chambly, you're doing. I mean, you're making this man work is what you're doing. Ooh, that could have been called strike, but it was just outside, or as Bob Uecker would say, just a bit outside. Swing and a miss, but it took so many pitches out of Woodruff just to get him out. And that's his third strikeout, but yeah, Adrian, he drew up that pitch count. And even though he strung out and struck out, I have to think that he did himself pretty well. Did pretty well for himself, man.
Speedy Trey Turner digs in now. Pitch out, nothing doing.
I get that a lot, Atticus.
Dodgers have yet to break into the hit column here. And they pitch out here, but nothing's going on.
But yeah, when I did a draft, you know, of the teams that were featured in this, you know, in this season, in the season I mean like postseason, and wait, a stolen base attempt, and they caught him out.
Great pick and tag to catch him trying to steal.
Check out the lead here. That's about as standard as it gets, and it did do him a lot of help on that steal attempt.
I mean, great play there, getting out Mookie Betts. Great tag there by Colton Wong. Anyway, yo, Adrian. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Lol. But yeah, great play there. So now the bases are empty, and it's 2 outs. Unfortunately for Woodruff, his pitch command is a bit off, and that's too bad, because had it been just a little bit on, we definitely would be in the bottom of the third by now. But it didn't matter. He swung and missed, and it's still 0-0. All right. Law. Thanks, Clinton. Anyway, number 7, or 7th in the lineup, is our good friend Patty Chase. So I may as well mention, yes, there are women in this game. The only thing is I had to give them the Mulan treatment. So, yes, every single created player is a male. So when it came to Patty and when it came to Crushing Kelly, I had to make it look as if it was, you know, just like Mulan. You know how Mulan disguised herself as a man because back then they didn't accept women in the army. I know, big shock, but of course this was back in the I think it was well, it was in ancient China. I mean, it was during when the Great Wall of China was the biggest thing in the world at that time. Ooh, big hit, but Hook's foul. So that's how I went with the look of the women characters, or the created players for, you know, the likes of Patty and Crushing Kelly. So I just wanted to go off of that. Anyway, too low on that last pitch there, so now it's a 3-2 count. The Glitchko brothers, yeah, they were great at that time. Mulan was a great movie. Yeah, and I'm talking about the original 1998 movie, not the remake, and definitely not the sequel. And popped up. Anyway, 1 down. Yeah. Yeah, but I still remember their prime years, though. I mean, they're still going, but they're not at the prime that they once were, because I remember when they were in their prime, they were unstoppable. In fact, it seemed as if they would go on for a long, long time, man. The Glitchkos. Well, anyway, now we have Lorenzo Cain. I mean, if he can get a home run, he'd be raising Canes. But instead, he fouls that one away. So now he's going to try to drive up the pitch count against Kershaw. Ooh, a bit too inside. So it's 2-2. And a bit too far up away from the strike zone, so now it's a 3-2 count. Swing and a miss, and 2 down, and a 4th strikeout for Kershaw. And then Fury came in like Thanos.
Good change of speed for the strikeout there, and I've seen a lot of hitters look pretty off with their timing so far.
So far, nobody has been able to figure out Tyson Fury. Fury, not Furry. Although I wouldn't put it past anybody to make a plushie of him. Okay. All right, 1-0. Too low.
My bet is he's getting the take sign now on 2-0. If he's having a hard time throwing strikes to the pitcher, you might as well let him work himself into trouble.
2 out, nobody on.
All right, so and now it's a pitcher's duel with a pitcher at the plate.
2-1 after the foul ball there.
So, I may as well ask, well, Adrian's, if only because I don't get to talk to him very often, but out of all the sports, which one is your favorite? Or one of your favorites?
A 3-ball count kind of feels like a little mini rally. Let's see if he can get on.
Because I definitely know that Clinton's favorite sport is college football, most especially the Ohio Buckeyes.
Somehow he manages to walk his opposite number.
Oh, that was the wind blowing the door closed.
But at least they have a base runner here.
Close. And wait a minute. I look away for one moment, and Woodruff is on base with a walk.
And that'll bring up Colton Wong.
Oh, yeah, probably. But the thing is, he did get up. So I don't think it's more. It's more. I don't think it's an indictment on Wilder. It's more of, how great Fury is, or Fury is. Oh, college hockey. Okay. Yeah, college hockey very underrated. Doesn't get the love that the Final Four in basketball gets. Same thing with the women. It doesn't get that same respect. The College World Series, a little bit less. In fact, I think it gets just a little bit more than college hockey. But really, basketball and football, they're king. But they really should be better, represented, in terms of television deals than what they are right now. Anyway, basketball and football, okay. Yeah, because when it comes to football on the Madden series, I had you on the 49ers, and as a matter of fact, you were the quarterback actually, Adrian. And that of course comes down to the fact that Jimmy G was, at times he can be a great, at times he's unstoppable, but then at other times he just undoes himself. So in other words, he's very inconsistent, which is why I had you, take over for that position for the Niners at that time, last season. That's definitely a big what if. Some people say that when his original trainer, passed away, he definitely lost that father figure in his life, and once you lose your father, I mean, you pretty much are left to your own devices. I hate to say. That is, unless your father, well, I don't want to say yours, but unless unless the father is absent, the father should be the backbone. But on the other hand, people are human after all, and sometimes that is just human nature. For better and for worse. Anyway, up at the plate is Will Smith.
Usually when a pitcher throws 4
And right now, Woodruff is at 69 pitches.
greedy right down the middle.
Again, a bit too high for the pitch count that he has.
Comes set. Now the pitch.
Swing and a miss, and it looked as if Will was trying to recreate that same swing that when he connected, IRL was what turned that game and turned that series around for the Dodgers against the Braves in the National League Series there in 2020, the Championship Series. Anyway, he got caught looking, and it was on the corner, very close, but he's out. Anyway, Anthony Joshua could have beaten Fury. Maybe. But, I mean, it says a lot that Joshua, well, Anthony Joshua, because we have a good friend known as Joshua James, but no, Anthony Joshua, I still can't get over the fact that he lost to Andy Ruiz. And it turned out Ruiz was a one-hit wonder. And, good for him. I mean, I'm happy that, he got to represent, but still. And, of course, Crushing Kelly is going to get jiggy with it. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Getting jiggy with it. Na, 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 na. Anyway, pops it up, and Patty's going to get to it. 2 down. A boxing match between Braun Strowman and Fury? I don't know. I mean, it's only going to go one of two ways. Either Fury's going to embarrass Strowman, or Strowman might just shock the world and punch out Fury. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I mean, of course, Joshua had him beat initially early in the fight, but then Ruiz just got better, and Joshua just, I don't know what happened that first fight. And in fact, I still don't know what happened in that first fight for Anthony Joshua. Anyway, in the dirt, and not in time. A wild pitch allowing the runner at first to get to second. Yeah, I probably would. That's a surprise. Because, Silva was... wait a minute. And another wild pitch. And just like that, the runner is at third, and Pollock only needs to get a hit to score him in. Anyway, Mr. PPF at the plate, and the Dodgers with a great chance to possibly take the early lead here. Woodruff has got to stay composed here. Fouls it away. Yeah, because I want to see him destroyed, though. But, I mean, of course, Silva, better known for his exploits in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anyway, they get the out at first, and it still remains a 0-0 game. And then Adrian's like, yeah, I heard Silva did well. Yeah, he did. Well, I didn't get to see it, but I'm happy to know he did pretty well. But on the other hand, Silva did get his fair share of knockouts, especially with that front kick to Vitor Belfort. I mean, and he also brutalized Chael Sonnen in their second fight. Of course, everybody still remembers the first fight in which Chael, by all accounts, he had that fight won in terms of points. It was not even close, and yet a last-ditch triangle submission was what it took to get the win in the 5th round in that first fight. But definitely he destroyed him, and then McGregor did okay against Mayweather. I'm surprised too, because I would have thought that Mayweather would have outclassed him, but oh well. Anyway, a swing and a miss by Willie Adames, and he's done. All right. Next up, Christian Yelich, and this is another guy that I've said if Yelich can get on a hot streak, the Brewers could win the whole thing. Many people have said that when Yelich, I don't know if he's still on the team, but you know, especially in the late 2010s, people have said that if he could get on a hot streak, the Brewers could probably win the whole thing. And he hits this one, but he hits it right to Mookie Betts. 2 down. Mayweather trained 3 weeks before the fight. So yeah, that just goes to show that Mayweather pretty much underestimated him, but he still won. But still, had he been taking it serious, he probably would have destroyed Mayweather a long time ago. Oh, he is, okay. But yeah, some people have... But yeah, Kelly, I've said this before. If Yelich could ever get on a hot streak, the Brewers could win it all. That's how talented he is, and that's how talented the Brewers are. But somehow, it just falls short. It is frustrating sometimes, but you know, I've also said the same thing about, you know, the Sacramento Kings, especially when we were good. We could just never get over the hump against those damn Laker teams. You have to think that if the Lakers were not in the way, we probably would have won a championship or two. Now, whether we would have been, you know, as well regarded, maybe. But as it is, we are still in the shitter as far as Sacramento is concerned. And it's not your fault, really. It's just, you know, management just not, you know, making the right picks. Other times they pass, like, for example, I'll give you one example, though. Vlade Divac, in charge of, he was in charge of the draft one year. I forget which year, but it was fairly recent. And that was the year that Luka Doncic was drafted. And the Kings had a chance to draft him, but they passed him up. And it later came out that, you know, Vlade, being that he's from Serbia and Serbia in Montenegro, I think it was called. Serbia and Montenegro. I forget the name of that country, really. It's been a long time. Well, yeah, that was one, but that could have easily missed, and who knows what would have happened. But no, I'm talking about more recent with mismanagement. But yeah, Vlade was in charge of the draft, and by all rights, we really should have picked Luka Doncic. But unfortunately, racism just reared its ugly head. And I'm talking one of the oldest forms of racism. European racism, by the way. Some can argue that Asian racism, and I'm talking about racism towards other Asians within Asia. But some people have said that because of Vlade, you know, and of course with where Luka Doncic is from in terms of his country, opposite of where Vlade came from, we ended up passing up Luka Doncic just because of that. That's just one example. I could go into a whole rabbit hole about the Sacramento Kings, and I could be here all night talking about it. I really could. But that's just one example. Anyway, so far, at the end of 4, it is 0-0. And give both teams credit. I mean, their defense is top tier. So it's going to come down to who can bust open first. Who's going to draw first blood? We saw that in the last game where Houston, they drew first blood and they never looked back. With this game, who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, yeah, he was. I mean, he was pretty key with those Rocket teams that won in the mid '90s, especially when Michael Jordan was away. So those 2 years that they were away, that he was away, yeah, the Rockets won 2 championships back to back, and then the Bulls came back and they won a three-peat. Well, I kind of saw it a mile away when it came to Lonzo Ball. The problem is with the Ball family, it goes back to their father. It really does. Because 9 times out of 10, the son becomes exactly what the father was. And that's, if your father's a messed up guy, in terms of messed up in the head, 9 times out of 10, the son is going to do exactly what the father did, or maybe even worse, or something different, but just as bad. Well, then again, when you're on the team, although with the Spurs, I will, in due fairness, with the Spurs, they still have Greg Popovich, and Greg is one of those great coaches that he could take somebody that, other teams might have given up on, and he can turn a bad player into a good one. He can turn a good player into a great player, and he can turn a great player into a legendary player. But that just goes with, how great Greg Popovich is. Was and still is, to a degree. Anyway. Who would win in old school rules? The 72 and 10 Bulls or the 73-9 Warriors? New school rules. I don't know. Okay, so Adrian says that the Bulls would win. Fair enough. I mean, you have one of the all-time greats. Do I think he's the greatest of all time? He has, Michael Jordan. I think so. You could also make a case for Stephen Curry. But I don't think anybody will ever find out who really is the greatest of all time. But they are all-time greats on those teams that you featured. Anyway, a walk to Clayshaw, or Kershaw, excuse me, Clayton Kershaw, and he walked the pitcher too. That's even worse. But yeah, it would just come down to. But it really would come down to the rules, because at the end of the day, if they had the same rules that the Bulls had back then, yeah, maybe, yeah, they would probably win. But it would just come down to the rules, really, because they changed the rules sometime in the early 2000s, and what worked then doesn't work now, and vice versa. But yeah, you do have some all-time greats, like Jordan and Magic. Yeah, they were great, without question, though. Of course, Clinton is of the opinion that there is no greatest of all time in anything.
That was a 3-pitch strikeout, and with the kind of stuff that he has, it's not uncommon for him to absolutely dominate.
Anyway, nice strikeout there by Woodruff. And you know what? Speaking of Adrian, here he comes. 0 for 2 so far, but who knows? He could bust this open. All it takes is one big hit, and the Dodgers could break this thing. That's fair? All right, cool. But I know that Clinton always has... it's not possible to objectively prove who is the best of all time. You know what? If there was such a way, it would have to be at the end of time. Which, at this time, we don't really know when the end of time is. Some people have foolishly tried to predict the end of time, but nobody's ever been able to do it, really. And the last person that tried, they either got laughed at, or they just got dismissed, and they were never the same again after they made that prediction. You know,
getting up there.
so
They think that making him work
so
is part of
really,
Taz's
like if you could ever get a time stone,
that they just need to stick to the process.
which again would have to come at the end of time, that would really be the only way you could objectively prove who was the best of all time. But until time stops, that's not going to be possible. So Clinton does raise a fair point on that. Anyway, back to this game now. And our good friend Crushing Kelly Baker at the plate. Still 0 for 1 thus far. Steiner... Okay, so you guys know about... Okay, so Adrian knows a little bit about Steiner Mats. Yeah, Steiner Math, I found it hilarious because it's the most Scott Steiner thing to do. And, ooh, good hit there by... Wait a minute. Oh, just a little bit further for Crushing Kelly, and that might have went out. But up next is her running buddy, Patty Chase. I don't know if I would do that. Especially given his age now, but I'm talking... But if we're talking like prime Scott Steiner, then okay, cool. But, you know, but unfortunately as you get older, you're not as strong as before. And, ooh, good hit there, but it goes foul. But yeah, if we're talking prime Steiner, okay, fine, but ooh, another good hit, but foul again. But yeah, we're talking prime Steiner, yeah, I would agree with that to a degree. I mean, if I really wanted somebody to be in charge of an education system, I would have picked maybe a prime Bobby the Brain Heenan. I probably would have picked him. You know, because they do call him the Brain. They don't call him the Brain for nothing. So it's like, why not have Bobby Heenan be the guy in charge? Well, that is if he was still with us and he was still in his prime. But obviously, he's no longer with us. I mean, that would be as if, you know, math was made fun. And sometimes math doesn't come out as fun. It should be fun, but not everybody sees it that way. I see it, but that's only because I'm a nerd for math. Matt Stryker. Yeah, Matt Stryker should also be considered for being in charge of the education system. Also, good to see Joker. Alright, so with Patty Chase at first, and Lorenzo Cain at the plate. Alright. A pitch away, so 1-1 is the count. And everybody's saying hello to Joker. Ooh. And Patty gets... Ooh, that was a bit close, but it apparently got the line in the strike zone. All right, so 1-2 is the count, and he hits it, but he hits it right to Adrian. One at second, and they get the double play. Great play there by Adrian Chambley as well as Trey Turner, as he made the throw at first, and I mean, just great concentration there by Turner, but it all started with Adrian making that play. And it's still tied 0-0 at this point. I'm not too familiar with it, so I wouldn't know how to answer it objectively, Clinton. So I can't answer it. Sorry. I'm not that familiar with with the Marvel Cinematic Universe
They want to know
or the
everything
MCU.
baseball does.
I'm not that familiar with it, really.
Swinging strike, and now it's 0-2. A couple of righties starting to loosen now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an old classic. If I can turn back time.
0-2 delivery. And it's fouled
Like
away.
seriously, there was a lot of things I could do if I could turn back time. I really could. I mean,
Baseline. This will be a foul.
I mean, there's a couple of things I would love to do if I could turn back time.
Wind up and the pitch. Fly ball out
And a big hit,
center field.
and nice catch there by Yelich.
To get there and
Well, at least for Yelich, his defense is still good. So great play there by Yelich to track that ball down.
the walk in his last trip. First pitch on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Too old to a guy with this kind of pop, you better be awfully careful because he's going to be swinging out of his
All right, so Max Muncy coming in. And what's unbelievable is that it's the 6th inning, and Woodruff is at 109 pitches. That's insane. That he's still out there. But it is a 0-0 game, so I can understand why he's still out there.
pretty easy pitch to
But at some point, you have to take him out.
not even close to being in the strike zone.
As much as you would hate to do it, you kind of have to.
No runs, no hits, no errors for the Dodgers thus far. Full count.
And again, they keep driving up the pitch count.
Get there.
But to Woodruff's credit and to the credit of the defense for Milwaukee, it's still a 0 game. And a walk to Max Muncy.
Ball 4.
Well, he gives up the walk, but that was a really good pitch. Might have been just out of the zone, but not by much. A lot of guys would have gone fishing for that pitch, so sometimes the hitter just outlasts you.
Okay.
At the plate now, Will Smith.
And Will Smith,
Center field.
he hits it, but not very far.
2 gone.
2 down. That was a nice relay catch there by Kelly.
Next
All right, so 2 down with a man at first.
in 2 trips to the plate for him in the ballgame.
Well, and the fact that they haven't, that just goes to show that, you know, you never know with this game. You really can't.
There, that's kind of a red flag for me that he's starting to tire or wear down a little bit. The first thing that goes is location, and then your mechanics. We'll see if this continues.
Woodruff, 115 pitches.
Now the 1-0 misses for
Oh,
the second ball.
now it's starting to become a concern for the manager.
Those last 2 weren't even close, so he might be getting a little bit tired. This might give him a chance to take a little deep breath and refocus on.
And of course, the catcher out there to console him. And of course, Woodruff, you know, a bit frustrated that he hasn't been able to, you know, shut these guys down. I mean, yes, he's kept them off the scoreboard, but he hasn't been able to put them away, you know, as quickly and as easily as he would like to. Anyway, he hits it right to Woodruff, and they get the out at first.
With it and get the out at
So Woodruff, despite everything, you know, he's still going.
1. And this is still a 0-0.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, Adrian. I agree with you, Adrian, on that last one right there, because
Eduardo Escobar.
some people say that the Yankees got robbed
Off the bottom of any number 6.
in that World Series, but really you could say that about, you know, well, not just the Yankees actually, but also
Here's the first
I forgot the other team that they played in the 17 World Series.
lifetime numbers against
Um,
Kershaw. He's got 2
Oh yeah, the Dodgers. That's right. Some people say the Dodgers should have won
home runs.
a championship far earlier than they ended up doing, because they didn't win it until 3 years later.
And he'll try to check his swing here, but he'll have no such luck. It's strike 1.
Hey, he's been able to pound that zone.
But really, though, I really should have Yeah, they got cheated, definitely. I mean, you could probably make the argument that the teams that they beat in the that the team that they beat in the divisional round also got cheated too. So yeah, it would have been great to see a Yankee Dodger series. I mean, we've had our fair share of those series. And in fact, if I remember correctly, the last time that they ever fought in the World Series, the Yankees and the Dodgers, you have to go all the way back to '81. And great backhand there and throw by Adrian at shortstop, excuse me. I'll tell you one thing, Adrian, you're doing pretty well when it comes to your shortstop work, man. And now Kershaw, of course, is now getting to 92 pitches. But he's not struggling nowhere near as close as Woodruff is. Oh, yeah, the Red Sox? Oh, so they got beat in the divisional round? Okay. Well, I mean, at least for the Red Sox, they did win it the following year. And it came at the expense of L.A. I mean, that series was pretty good, too. I like that 18's World Series, too. But... but really though, and what surprises me though is that the Astros did make the 19 World Series, but then they lost to the Nationals. So all things considered, you would have thought that with their cheating ways, they would have before they got caught, obviously, you would have thought that they would have won at least 2 more titles, if not 1 more. Than they actually did. But I suppose the old saying goes, cheaters don't prosper for too long, I suppose. Yeah, of course by then they had already been exposed, so they couldn't cheat. And of course, obviously we know better that, the Braves were just the better team that year. Anyway, hit right to the first baseman and throws it right to Kershaw, and Kershaw beats him to the bag. And again, it's still a 0-0 game. In fact, no hits. Neither man has given up a hit. They've given up walks, but no hits. And now Boxberger comes in, and as much as he would have loved to, of course he's coming in for Woodruff. And this could be a combined no-hitter if this continues, or if it gets broken by A.J. Pollock here. Well, we could see that, Clinton. But of course, going into this series, Milwaukee already won Game 1. This is Game 2. And this is a best-of-3 series. Every series, except for the wild card, is a best-of-3. So Milwaukee already has Game 1. So for the Dodgers, they need to win this game just to force a Game 3, where winner takes all. So that's what is going into this game, what the storyline of this game is going into it. A no-hitter and they still lost? Incredible. And just as incredible as Boxberger getting himself a strikeout. Speaking of burgers, I did enjoy my In-N-Out burger. Of course, it's mainly on the West Coast, so those who live in the Midwest and in the East Coast. Of course, Adrian knows what I'm talking about because he and I we're West Coast boys, man. So yeah, In-N-Out Burger. There's nothing like it. There really is nothing like that. The XFL got a TV deal. That's awesome, but who's going to showcase their games? Is it on ESPN or an upstart network? Well, if you ever get it, it's awesome. And he hits this one, but not far enough, and Jamar gets a hold of it. 2 down. ESPN and the combination of ESPN and Disney Plus. Although, wait a minute, how's it on Disney though? Like on the Disney Channel, or Disney Plus? Because I know the Plus includes ESPN Plus. It also includes Hulu, everything. In terms of streaming services, In-N-Out Burger is bomb. Like bomb as in good or bomb as in bad. Because there's two ways you can interpret that. Might be on Plus, yeah. And Kershaw hits it, but not far enough and not low enough. So it is still 0-0. And coming up, we have Yelich, Jamar, and I forgot who the last guy was. Bomb as in good. Yeah, it's awesome, man. In fact, I had it yesterday, like after work, because there's an In-N-Out Burger on the way from work back home. Midway on my way back home, it's easy for me to get there on the way back than it is to get it on the way to. In fact, I think it's well, actually in general, it's much easier to get it after work than it is before. I mean, that's just how it works in general. And Kershaw now at that point where he's starting to get tired now. I mean, he's up to 104 pitches. And last thing you want to do is start walking guys. In fact, he's walked more men than he has given up hits, which is pretty ludicrous. But if one of these guys can take advantage of it, we'll see if Jamar can get the job done. Has yet to get a hit. But if he does, he'll be the hero without question.
This guy's been throwing a gem so far. We're moving on later into this game, and he's right at about league average for first pitch strikes.
Here's the 0-1.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. You know, should you go after, and by you I mean Adrian. So back to the wrestling series, should you go after the champ, you'd either have to face off against Kyle Young or Walter the Hulk Johnson. But what I'm saying is, either way, you'd be hard-pressed to try to get that title off of either one of those two guys. So I'm just saying that the title picture is far more tougher than it was when you last left it. I'll put it to you that way. Back to the match, though. Oh, drops the ball, but the runner at first does not go for it. Anyway, 2-1 is the count. 109 pitches for Kershaw. Swing and a miss. Oh, that was way too out of the strike zone. I mean, give Jamar credit. I mean, he wanted to be the hero, but he tried too hard, and that's what Kershaw was trying to count on, and he did. He got it. So, 2 down. Or, I'm sorry, 1 down. My bad. Too low. Anyway. But if I know Adrian, I know he's going to give it everything that he has. I also like his spirit. You know, it's like he never left. Oh, And, of course, Yelich almost got caught there. I mean, if you're the Brewers, you can ill afford to make mistakes, especially on the base paths. But most especially when you have that man, Kershaw. And pitch out of the zone. But now Kershaw is at that point where he's starting to get tired. And for him, he's got to dig deep. And too low. And up at on deck is our good friend Crushing Kelly Baker.
Good job to let it go by, though, as a hitter.
Payoff pitch. And he misses inside. And that's another walk for Kershaw. And now the manager is going to have to make a decision. Is he going to take him out? And I believe the skipper is Mark Pryor, if I'm not mistaken, who himself was a great pitcher in his day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or was he a pitcher? The only thing I remember was Mark Pryor. I know that. And a big hit by Kelly. And this could drive one. It does. Kelly has struck first. Kelly has struck first from the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, in fact, she didn't even give Kershaw time to think about it. She just did it. Big hit for Kelly, and that drives in a run, and I think that might just drive Kershaw out of the game. And, you know, give Kershaw a lot of credit. He did everything he could. But Dave Roberts will take him out of the game. Yes, her first RBI, and it's a huge one. So, well, now it's down to the relievers for both teams at this point. But it was Kershaw that gave up the big run, and Woodruff did his job. He did his job by keeping it 0. You know, for Milwaukee against the the Dodgers. And like I said, remember, folks, if Milwaukee wins this game, they win the series and they move on to the National League Championship Series. So the Dodgers have got to find a way to not only get out of this half inning, but to get back on the scoreboard.
Again, another foul ball.
Fouled away. Well, now we'll find out if Patty can really bust this game open. If Gratterall is unable to do that, this may very well be Milwaukee's series to win. All right, so 1-2 is the count. Too high.
Man, this guy's a grinder. Fouls off good pitches and doesn't seem to swing at the ones just off the corner. This guy's a pitcher's nightmare.
And ooh, I honestly I would have thought that was a strike. That looked like a strike to me, but I guess it might have gotten just a little bit outside. All right, full count and fouls it away. That would have been a ball had she not swung at it and struck it, but okay. Fouls it away.
I know the fans love the souvenirs, but the battle between the pitcher and batter right here is what makes the game great. Fouled off.
And Patty just making Gratterall work for this one. And another hit. And, well, the runner at third decided to stay, and good call. But a great hit by Patty Chase. And while Patty doesn't have a lot of hits to her record, the ones that she did have, or has, they're counting. But up next is Kane. That's got to be Kane. That's got to be Kane. Lorenzo Kane. golden opportunity to really bust this open. And a bunt attempt. I did not see that one coming. One. Oh, well, I would have thought that you would. Well, anyway, they get the out at second, but unfortunately, when Adrian tried to get a play at the plate at home, they were unable to get him. So another run comes in. And hit right to the third baseman, and that's the end of the inning. But they get 2 runs, and now they hold a 2-0 lead at the end of 7. Much to the delight of Atticus Black. Well, now we'll find out if Devin Williams can keep it this way. But for the Dodgers, they got to find a way to get back in this. If they're going to have any shot of tying this up, or at the very least, maybe even getting a lead, they got to get some hits. And so far, we have a no-hitter going. Dances the running man. 1-0. Change up.
Hey, this is a real pesky hitter right here. As a pitcher, you really like to keep this guy off.
Patty!
This is the guy that kind of sets the tables for big innings.
Well, you missed most of the game, but how you doing, Patty Cakes? Patty Lawndale, Patty Chase, whatever you want to call her. But yeah, great to see you, Patty.
Still a ball and 2 strikes.
And a swing and a miss, and out goes Betts. And Betts has struggled mightily. Other than getting a walk, he hasn't really gotten a hit. In fact, nobody on the Dodgers has gotten a hit. So another storyline is, are they going to get the no-hitter? Well, we'll find out if Adrian is up to the task of breaking it up. Everybody saying hello to Patty. And of course, Adrian would love to get out of that cold streak that he's been on. Has yet to get a hit tonight. I mean, he's done pretty well on the field. He just has to get hot at the plate. Ultra Adrian. Ooh, got him on the got him just on the line in that strike zone. Fouls it away. Ooh. Went for it. I mean, good cut there, but out goes Adrian. I mean, just absolutely fooled Adrian. And it's not like Adrian isn't trying. He is.
Here now is Trey Turner. As with 2 away, he'll swing and miss at the first pitch. It's 0-1. He's hitless in his 2 at-bats so far. Swinging strike, and now it's 0-2.
1 pitch away from wrapping up a very good innings work out of the bullpen here.
Now the pitch. Oh, that's too high.
All right, so 1-2 is the count. But yeah, the Dodgers are now the ones that are running out of time. I mean, once Milwaukee got ahead 2-0, now the shoe is on the other foot, and you know, Dodgers don't have a lot of time left. They got to make a move right now. Swing and a miss, and that is it for the first half of the 8th, and at the end of that, it's still 2-0 Milwaukee. And another thing I'm noticing is that a fair number of relievers are coming in. I have to think that if somehow this game goes to a third game, by the time the third game's over and whoever wins, I have to think that they'll be very tired going into their next series, but who knows what will happen with the others. A pop-up, but caught by Chambly. 1 down. So now we're not just looking at this game, but also long-term going forward. Have to look forward. Can never look back.
First pitch of the AB now. Fouled away. And the slider is low and inside as he just about got him there.
And and I just noticed that Blaze is doing LTD. And then Brandon saying hello to Patty. Oh yeah, Brandon, I forgot to ask you, like, how do you feel about winning Game 2 on behalf of the Astros? I forgot to ask you that earlier.
Here comes the 1-2.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout.
Strikeouts we see in the game today, Dan. That was his 3rd tonight, and it seems we're seeing that a lot more these days.
Yeah, Matt, there's been a real change in philosophy as far as hitting in baseball today. A lot of guys think now that an out is an out, a strikeout is just as good as a regular out, but we're seeing strikeouts at an alarming rate in baseball right now.
Into the box, Chris Yelich.
It's much needed. Yeah, I'd have to think so. Well, so far we have won Game 3, and that's going to be between Detroit at Houston in their series.
And he popped him up.
Popped it up and out. But yeah, I mean, that's one Game 3 that we do have still on the plate. But that's a game that we'll get to when we get to it. But it was an honor to have Atticus Black, or the Chaos Reaper, whatever you want to call him, on commentary. Swing and a miss, and of course Yelich is also having problems with contributing, really. But it's his team that's ahead, so no worries there. All right, now it's Hader time. Josh Hader. Yeah, of course. As catcher, I mean, you took out. You actually threw. You got 3 outs based on your arm, throwing out guys who were stealing bases. So, that was one of the reasons why they drafted you at catcher, because they needed somebody to catch runners stealing base.
1-1 to the Dodgers' first baseman. Tying run stands on deck, but it'll only
Well, now for the Dodgers, it's very simple. They need to get at least 2 runs to keep this game going. Anything short of that, and the Milwaukee Brewers will not only win the game, but they win the series and they move on to the National League Championship Series. So it's up to the Dodgers to try to tie it or go ahead. Swing and a miss. 1 down. 2 to go.
When your closer comes in and strikes out the first guy he faces, everyone on the team can kind of take a deep breath. Still have 2 more outs to get, but retiring that leadoff guy is always huge when you're trying to shut a game down.
And of course, here you have Will Smith, and he came through when the Dodgers needed him in that series against the Braves in 2020. If they're going to make a comeback, they're going to need it now. Yes, he's the Brewers closer, yes. Fouls it off, 1-1. Fouls it away.
but it's going to be a foul ball.
You're lucky if you get one pitch a night right down the middle. Cannot be late on that fastball.
And a bit too low on that last one, but to Smith's credit, I mean, he didn't swing at that one. Swing and a miss, and Will Smith is not going to get jiggy tonight.
Well, you have to feel pretty confident about the way this one's going to end up as a manager. 2 hitters, 2 strikes.
Though I have a feeling I know who else would.
A whole lot more he can do to instill confidence that he's going to wrap this thing up without any problem.
So 1 out left to go.
Next, it'll be
And it all comes down to Justin Turner.
hangs in the balance here as they're down to their final out.
I can't tell you how many times that Turner has been looked to for help. Well, they turn to Turner for help. One out away from history here.
0-1 the count.
Hits it away, but foul. Swing and a miss. And now 1 strike away, not just from winning the game, not just for winning the series, but also from history. Nope, too far inside. But yes, 1 strike away from the game, the series, and history is what I was trying to say. I can't talk. Outside, 2-2.
Right there, but the last thing you want to do is be called out on strikes to end the game.
Fouls it off. Still going. And strikeout! It's over. I didn't want to say it, but I will say it now. A combined no-hitter to not only win the game, but also to advance to the National League Championship Series. So the Brewers will be going to the National League Championship Series, and they will await the winner of St. Louis, Atlanta. And Crushing Kelly came through. She got a big hit to put it 1-0, and then a follow-up hit. Or actually, no, it was an error on the part of one of the fielders that allowed a second run. But actually, it wasn't even an error. It was scored a hit. But either way, the Brewers have done it. They have eliminated the Los Angeles Dodgers, which means that, unfortunately, Insane One, Mr. PPF, and, yes, Adrian Chambly, Ultra Adrian, have, they've been eliminated, and so have the rest of the Dodgers, unfortunately. But we will see them again next season. But for the Brewers, they still have to wait for the other series to conclude before they can make plans. But congratulations nonetheless, as Josh Hader gets the Player of the Game award, and Brad Boxberger gets the a win, apparently. But yeah, I would have thought to give it to Kelly for Player of the Game, but oh well. But congratulations, though. And it was like I said, it was a combined no-hitter. Because you had Woodruff, you had Boxberger. I forgot who they had after him, and then before Hader, but they had a combined no-hitter, which is insane if you really think about it. Okay, so let's go back. So, looking at the updated bracket, you have Milwaukee, and they'll be sending out Freddie Peralta, but they have still yet to determine who will face them in the championship series. But in the meantime, the next game, let me see what the next game is really quickly. So the next game will be the Yankees at Baltimore, and the Yankees are up at and the Yankees are ahead 1-0 in that series, as is Atlanta. So they can close it out on the road. But from all of us here, this is the Blue Toad to Jew 22. I want to say thank you so much for the likes of Patty, Brandon, Clinton, Atticus, Crushing Kelly. I think I said Crushing Kelly. Patty, and who else? And Cole Weston when he was here. So it was a lot of fun. Excuse me. Oh, and Joker for the short time that he was there with us here. But congratulations, Kelly, and enjoy it. But for me, that's going to do it for me. I will see you guys on Saturday, in which I will be doing Mario Kart, and of course I will do it with I will just simply play along with the viewers that day, and also just as a reminder, Memorial Day, I've decided to move the Clash of Champions Night 2 on Memorial Day. So there will not be a stream on Sunday, simply because there will be AEW Double or Nothing is on that night. So just to give you guys heads up. But until then, have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. I say, Brewers all the way. Same to you, Patty. Oh, nice job, Kelly. Same to you, Patty. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Peace.